Tell by my attitude that I most definitely from.
You should watch First to Third because of your commitment to excellence,
Drunken debauchery,
athletic achievement,
PBR,
competition,
women,
money.
Let's go. Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50%.
That's a shocker.
Today on First to Third, we're fortunate to have Cullen Shaw, founder and president of Ultimate Rec and event manager for the recent New York City Grand National Tournament, where we had 24 teams competing in one of the most challenging tournaments to date. Welcome, Cullen. Thanks for coming on, man.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Welcome.
Hey, good to see you.
Thanks.
Hey, Cullen, I think I speak for everyone here. We had an awesome time this weekend at the tournament.
Yeah.
Definitely
yeah,
outstanding competition, great fields.
Yeah.
And how was your experience running this kickball tournament for the first time?
I mean, it was something I had been looking forward to for several months. I can't even remember when we first kind of started talking about it, but some people might not know. I used to work with Waka, and I have a non-compete with them that runs out at the end of the year, and there was a lot of upset people about how NYC went last year, and I thought it'd be a good opportunity for me to come in because I have a lot of field space and hopefully make it better. So I talked to Waka, and they said, "Yeah, we'll let you run this." After that, we kind of started talking and laid out the ground, laid out kind of our plan and put it together. So, I'm happy I'm happy it came. I'm happy I'm happy. So it was a lot of work. It was a lot more work than I thought it would be.
Well, you did a great job, man. We were totally stoked.
Thanks.
Everyone I talked to really just had a blast. So I think you should definitely be proud of the event.
Yeah, definitely. Teams from Maine and Florida and D.C. and Maryland and, gosh, all over the place had a blast. So great job. Thanks.
Yeah.
So also, Colin, I guess you kind of had a dual hat this weekend. You also brought a new team of people to play Kickball 365 Circuit Rulebook. What did they think of kickball? What did you think of the rules? And more importantly, what did you think of the actual kickball we use?
Yeah, we so this team is from my softball league, and they're a group called Manny Being Manny, and they really
That's an awesome name.
live that name. I think last year they were called Kiss My Anthea, and they live up to that name as well. It's a bunch of young guys. There's some athletes on there. A lot of them played travel soccer growing up. They've got good arms. They run bases well. And I thought, you know what, these guys might be able to transition to play kickball. But I was in Peru leading up to the event. We never got a chance to practice. They were hammered when they showed up. Our first game was against Jellystone Rangers, who are a decent team. And our very first play on offense, our leadoff kicker puts his hand down, grabs the ball, and throws it back, and gets rung up.
Oh no!
That kind of set the tone for the day.
Did we get rid of that rule? That's not even a rule anymore.
It's not a rule in our rule book, so we'll have to go back to that head ref and fix that. But
Oh, I didn't know that.
It was striker.
He's going with Waka.
I didn't have the rule. I didn't have the rule book on me, and we just didn't really want it to become an issue. But it really set a bad tone for the first.
Colin, if you've been watching the show, you know that we've talked about that before.
Yes, yeah.
Seen a couple episodes. We lost all three in pool play. We put two up on Poison IV. One big bomb. I think our guys finally figured out how to kick the ball, and we played some decent defense. I don't know. The cheer at the end was never play kickball again. But I think they had a decent time, and I'll see if they ever want to play in some kind of league or something like that. We had a decent time.
What'd you think? This is your first time playing circuit ball, right?
Yeah, I haven't played circuit ever. I really, really enjoyed the 10 players in the field. I like the challenge of, the challenge of positioning the right players and a little bit more room to kick. People had really kind of talked about the ball flies. It definitely flies, but also I haven't kicked a walk-a-ball in a year and a half, maybe more. So, I've been kicking soccer balls, so maybe I'm sure if someone threw a walk-a-ball at me and I kicked it, I would definitely notice the difference.
Yeah, once you can't go back, dude.
Yeah.
It's like gelatinous. Wait till you try it.
I don't know if I will. But yeah, it was cool. I was telling Oakley earlier, it was, when we finally played our crossover game, we played one of the higher seeds. It was 2 0-3 teams basically playing for the right to move on. And, we played them all right after they put up 5 runs on us in the first inning. It was 4-2 after that against Poison IV. I keep wanting to say IB. But yeah,
hybrid.
Playing against a tighter defense, it brought back good memories, and I think I might have the itch again to come out and play.
It's good.
So, yeah,
I like it. So actually, you brought up a good point with the tiered pool format, and so it was something that we hadn't tried before in any of the national tour circuit events this year. Folks were a little hesitant before the event, and then I think if you asked 10 people at the event what they thought, 9.5 out of 10 would say, "Love it, let's do it again." Can you tell us a little bit about the format and why you chose to go with it?
Well, I chose to go with it. I played in some Ultimate Frisbee tournaments. There's one. It's called the Boston Invite, and it basically is like it's the first big tournament of the year to gear up for their club session. And a lot of these teams that went to nationals the year before, all come and play, and they're put in a higher pool, and they put the scrubs in the lower pool, and it allows you to kind of work on what you need to work on against the right kind of competition. And, I knew going into it that the demographics for this tournament were going to be pretty different between our circuit teams that were gearing up for Vegas and our New York City, Westchester teams that, that's not really their thing. So I wanted to create a format to where everybody had a chance to win, and that, everybody had a chance to win the money, but also everybody had a chance to win a game. And I think some people's criticism was, well, that's like, give them a participation award and things like that. But I think that people sign up for tournaments for different reasons. And I think that that's something that's overlooked a lot, that people have different goals. And even teams that sign up, that are circuit teams, some sign up to get better. And I think a team like SOFA, they signed up to get better and came out to this event. And I think they really benefited from playing such a hard pool throughout the day and then hard elimination. So that was my goal. With setting up a tiered system and looking at how people pre-ranked, and we really had like the divide between 8 and 9 was pretty big. The divide between 17 or 18 and 19 was pretty, 16 and 17 was pretty big. I know that a team like BSB, might have fared a little bit different, or a team like, No Dead Weight might have done a little bit better, but at the same time, those teams that finished in, the top 8 teams were the top 8 teams in elimination, and I think there's something to be said about that.
Yeah. I definitely agree, Colin. And sorry, Adrock, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, I was listening to the question before, and it seems like your day ended pretty early, and it was also your first circuit event. And I was wondering if you had a favorite game, the most entertaining one that you were able to watch, since you watched most of single elimination.
Well, I caught the fields. I was basically the field manager for the bottom tier, and then the crossover games over there. But I don't know. For me, the best moment of the tournament for me was I finally got back to Icon Stadium, and at that point it was like, okay, we know that we're gonna, it's 4 teams left. We're all in the same space. It was a good feeling, and then to walk in and see Carl foul out 3 guys on OSC in an order, that was really exciting.
That was the most brutal thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
He looked like an axe murderer. Like, just the look on his face, dude. He was just dealing, and nobody could get a handle on a single pitch. That was like the sweetest inning I've ever seen.
I mean, I've seen Carl pitch on turf, and he can do some things that maybe 2 or 3 people in the country can do, and he really showcased that. I guess their offense couldn't really put it together.
Dude, those were not like uncoordinated guys either. That was the heart of their order. I mean, that was like maybe their 5, 6, 7.
Yeah. And props to them for staying in and fighting hard and pulling out that win.
Oh, they handed it to us, man. They outplayed us in every aspect of the game. Like definitely, OSC was. I thought they were going to be panic attacking final. They were just on fire.
I think everybody in the stadium thought that.
Yeah, they were in control almost that entire game.
Yeah.
Kudos to the panic attack. They got heart, man. That team has heart.
Yeah,
they really are fighters. I mean, they if I wasn't already, that final game made me a Panic fan. I was really impressed by the chutzpah that they showed pulling it out with the bottom in their order. Yeah, that was sweet. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Was that the first walk-off win of the circuit?
I think so. Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember any of the other ones. Definitely not Florida. Definitely not. Yeah, no, I think that was.
Yeah, because I remember Tyler rounding third and then just mobbed them at home. I thought it was awesome to watch.
Yeah, that was pretty neat. Sorry for not having a live broadcast. We didn't have power at the fields. It was a little difficult.
Yeah, I hear that.
So, Colin, we talked a little bit about this last week, or in the run-up to the tournament, but you faced some pretty interesting challenges with the field space and Parks and Rec leading up to New York Grand National. Dude, what happened, man?
Yeah, man, this summer's been pretty interesting. So I run a company called Ultimate Rec. We focus on it started out as a company that really focused on fitness through competition was kind of our motto, and it was ultimate frisbee and soccer. So it was games where you're really moving the entire time and and getting a workout. And it's kind of evolved into some other stuff. Basically because in New York City you take whatever fields you can get, and I fell into some softball fields, so I started a softball league. I had a small little turf field that wouldn't work for anything but football, so I started a football league. But it's gotten to the point where this summer was my biggest summer, and the company's doing well. But man, Randall's Island has been my go-to place to play, and they had some issues during our heat waves and decided that they weren't able to water the fields anymore. So our fields started dying, and I don't know, maybe Oakley and Abrock have gone out there and practiced a couple times, but it used to be really, really nice.
Really nice. Beautiful. Except for the goose shit, but
I was really pumped to have the tournament there because,
we were really psyched too.
Stark difference between the Brooklyn fields and nice grass, flat fields at Randall's Island.
Yeah.
It was going to be great. So, I knew that there were some issues, but, I go off to Peru. I think everything's doing great. And I'm doing the Inca Trail. There's no reception, and even if there was, I'd have to pay international rates. So I just turned my phone off and took in the scenery for 4 days, and it was amazing. And I descend the mountain into Aguas Calientes, which is the tourist town right next to Machu Picchu. And I make the mistake of turning on my phone and got this email from the Parks Department that said, so all the fields are closed, and and this is it. And and they had already told me, because I had dealt with this in July, they told me that there would not be any refunds. So I was already gearing up to possibly get a lawyer involved. There was a tournament the week before, the New York Invite, which is an ultimate frisbee tournament. So we had 10 teams from all around the Northeast come and play. These were very competitive ultimate frisbee teams. I didn't run that one, but I kind of ran it remotely from Peru, and we didn't have any fields. And so the guys there are they're going crazy. We didn't know where to set up anything. So I get on the phone and we start to figure out where those are going to go. And I land, I'm able to convince them to give me 4 turf fields for the New York kickball tournament as well. So, I kind of looked at them. I knew they were spread out, but I mean, this is international phone calls. I probably made 4 of them to line up all these things because, I was getting to the point where I was thinking of having to cancel the event. At the same time, people had already booked hotels, already booked flights. And once again, I thought there might be a lawsuit on my hands from promising this thing and people shelling out hundreds and hundreds of dollars to get to New York City for nothing.
Yeah.
So I thought it was just going to be a colossal mess, and we were able to clean it up enough. For the people there, we actually had a bunch of grass fields right in the center of the island. It was going to be one big location where everybody, all the crossover games were going to be at one place, and we were going to have the porta potty set up there and the food truck there, and then we just got spread out. And I thank every captain and every player that went there for their patience. I think we were able to put together a great event. And it prepares us for next year to maybe go back to parks and say, listen, instead of those 4 fields, how about we get 4 fields that are all close to each other, and we aim for something a little bit easier to manage. But yeah, it was. I'm glad they were able to work with us. And what really pissed me off was that the island was empty.
Yeah. We could have had the whole event just down by 71, 72.
Yeah, right on the water. That's where we were.
Everything on the bridge with the great view of the skyline of Manhattan, and it would have been perfect. But I didn't have permits to that. And there were some rugby players that came in later. But over near Field 83, there are 4 real nice full-size turf fields. We could have run everything there, but I only had one of them on my permit, and a bunch of it's these. In New York City, they basically charge the adult leagues and give the kids their fields for free. But there's these huge organizations behind the youth leagues that make tons of money and don't have to pay for fields. So they just squat on fields. They just reserve a whole bunch of time and don't use it. And there's really no repercussions for them at all because they're youth. But yeah, that was kind of the situation that we were dealing with, and we made it work.
Yeah, made it work, and it was great. We escaped the rain that took out New York on Sunday and Monday.
I canceled everything on Sunday except for so Sunday's one of my biggest times. I had 70 games scheduled on Sunday and canceled all but 5 of them. So I was out in Hoboken, New Jersey from 2 o'clock to 7 o'clock in torrential downpour to have these soccer finals in one of my big leagues out there. So. Anyway, it was a very, very long weekend of about 7 hours sleep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great, man. Well, Colin, it was a great event and a great day for all those involved. Everyone I talked to was stoked. All the good teams, I felt, loved the pool format, and I hope this event continues.
Thanks.
Through the circuit years.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and definitely big thanks go out to all the supporters, all the teams that made the trip. Also, big thanks to a chiropractic company that came out there.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome.
And supported the event. Big thanks also to Mike's Hard Lemonade for supporting all the free swag. The Mike's Hard Sports competition, the video competition, will be submitting our videos tonight.
I want to see it.
There's already one out there, but a lot of folks had a lot of fun, and they're already talking about next year, so we're looking forward to it.
Definitely.
Colin, thanks so much, man. Folks at home, check out Ultimate Rec. If you're going to play sports in New York, we'll have a link to their Facebook page on our Facebook page. So, sign up for soccer or Ultimate Frisbee, and the URL should be right there.
Yeah, we'll put it right
Right there, guys.
So, Colin, man, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Have a good one.
Thanks. You too.
Well, I could tell you that I ended up getting in at 4 in the morning the other night. That was a first in a long time.
Why is that?
Well, 'cause I'm a bitch now.